Mhm. Mhm.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Zara, your host, and this is our episodes about the marriage matrix. And today's this is the third episode, and we are going to talk about in this episodes about the arranged marriage and the love marriage, how it works in Asian communities and Muslim communities, and all the emotional and practical stuff with the sister Shanaz. Let's begin from her point of view. Hello, Shanaz.
Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners and viewers and Sister Zara. Alhamdulillah, with our marriage episode. So today we speak about love marriage and arranged marriage. So first and foremost, I'd like to just begin with the arranged marriage, just the word arranged marriage. We mustn't get the word arranged marriage confused with forced marriage, because forced marriages in Islam are not allowed. They're not valid. They're not, they're just not allowed on any basis. They're not allowed in the religion. They're not allowed in the law of the land.
Hmm.
Even in Pakistan, they're not allowed. So, and in England, they're not allowed either. So, it's not that we are speaking about. We speak about arranged marriage. So arranged marriage, alhamdulillah, I find that there's a lot of good in arranged marriages. That people, how it works is it's like the parents are in on finding the partner for their children, and the children's opinion, the children's voice is heard, and their opinion matters. So you don't just the parents don't just say, okay, you're getting married to so and so, my nephew, my niece, or someone that he's chosen from his family. It's more like, okay, so now you're ready to marry. Is there anybody in the family that you think that is suitable for you? If not, then we can start searching outside. And both of the parents are happy with that arrangement, because I find that with arranged marriages, there's one parent that wants the child to marry one side of the family and the other parents wanting to marry the other side of the family. Or if one parent is neutral, he's happy for the child to marry, or she's happy for the child to marry whoever they want. The parent who is not neutral, the parent who has an agenda, so to speak, they will always try and prevent the marriage from taking place. But putting those differences aside, an arranged marriage is normally where both parents are on board. The child is involved, the child's opinion matters, the child is asked, and the last say is for both of the families, and having taken the children into confidence, both of them, children from both sides. So it works out as a package deal. Like the families will be involved with the families. The girl's family will be involved with the boy's family. The boy's family will be involved with the girl's family. So they will carry things through, and it's there's a lot of wisdom in that, as the parents are from a different generation. They have a whole lifetime of experience that they can share with the children, or they can part with whilst all of this taking place, and the children can turn to them for whatever they need or want, and the parents can actually advise them accordingly. So to me, arranged marriages are wonderful. They're lovely. I think it works out really well for the parents, and it works out really well for the children. Now, I'll let you have a sort of like give the psychological side of things, and then we can move on to how it has worked in the past and how it continues to work, and how even statistics prove that arranged marriages are more successful than any other type of marriage.
Exactly. So, how I put my point of view here is that first of all, the definition of arranged marriage, as Shanaz make it make a statement and differentiate that the forced marriages and arranged marriages. The forced marriages is, of course, the comes with the word force, so it's supposed to be imposed or the pushed into it. But the arranged marriage is that where the parents take the initiative, they found some suitable suitors for a girl or a boy, and they propose it to the children. Look, this is the person. What are your thoughts? And when, because it's initiative from the parents, and we make it a taboo that arranged marriage, but that is basically a thoughtful way of going further into a relationship. That's the biggest thing. And in that is that arranged marriage means that the parents or the children are looking where they know the other person, that this is thing, or they might be have parties, like the support of that the parents is there, and the conversation is more open and more inviting from the both child and the parent side. And I will say that in that, please do speak up your mind with your parents in that situation, what you are thinking, and what kind of person you are looking in while discussing, and while your parents are proposing, just with whatever we discussed in last episodes about are you ready, or about how the, the emotional maturity and the financial maturity of the things, and the all the other things we have already talked. So when you are discussing in that situation where the parents are proposing some suitors to you, just keep in mind the previous discussions and go watch that videos. Let's go further into the other side of the marriage, where when it's not arranged by the parents or proposed by the parents. That's what we usually call the love marriage. And love marriage is that before the parents know, or before the parents proposes someone, you like someone. You met someone, either your college, your university, or your workplace, or with some friends, and you develop an attachment with that person, and you want that person to be in your life as your life partner. That is what we define as a love marriage. And in that process, I will say that, as a parent, how could you support your children? And then as a marriage consultant, what does Shanas think about that?
I think love marriages are amazing as well. This is where the children have actually taken the legwork away from their parents. Uh, they have found somebody, and now the tick box is not necessary. Now they have found whoever it is, and they go home, tell their parents, right, this is the person I want to marry. Usually, if the parents are quite open-minded, it goes well. But sometimes if the parents are thinking, right, okay, we had these plans for you, you cannot go and marry who you want, because this child will have, the parents might be thinking, oh, first and foremost, they'll probably ask the child, who is it and what is it? So if the partner is not from the same ethnicity, that causes an uproar with the parents. If the partner is not from the same caste, it causes an uproar with the parent. And if it's not the same color, the same culture, the same ethnicity, it to the child, nothing matters. It's just that person that they want to marry, and they just want to get on and get married to them. Now, for if my what I would say, or what I would suggest, or what my opinion is that if a child comes home and says they found somebody, then just to me, I would just get on with it, because at the end of the day, when you start looking and you have all these tick boxes, and the child's heart is not in there because the child already has somebody else, then that child is really going to suffer with your decision that you make, or the fact that you're taking him away from that person and you're placing him with someone of your choice who you see fit and suitable. So love marriages, I think they take away a lot of the background work, a lot of the legwork by the parents. And I mean, I would definitely say, in Punjabi, we have this saying that जूते खिसाने की क्या जरूरत है, कि you're going everywhere, they're sort of like wearing out your shoes, and your child is saying no. So now that your child has already chosen this person, best thing is to actually get on board with that child, and let them marry the person. Now, the other side to this is that once, when the boy and the girl are in love, the girl only sees the boy, and the boy only sees the girl. It when they do get married, the girl goes into the boy's house, and when she sees the boy outside, when they have fallen in love, he's a hero. He makes her laugh. He's strong. He's happy. He's everything. But when she comes to the house, it's a different story. I've had people say that, well, after we got married, before we got married, he was so strong, he was happy, he used to stand up for me, he used to, he was the boss. And you get married, you come home, and you find that he's just a little boy, and his mum is the boss. So what she says goes. And if she doesn't like you, then your life is not going to be very good. So unless you're planning on moving out, then make sure you do your background work about, is he strong enough to stand in front of his parents? And sometimes I find that a love marriage, if you bring the girl in to live with you, it does become quite tough because the family will have it in for her. You're not going to be there all the time to defend her. You're out working, and she's at home tolerating all the negativity, not the abuse, but the negativity. So it does have its pros. It is, obviously it's your first love. I'm assuming it's the child's first love. They've got married, and that's how you want it to work, that you want the child to be happy and you want that things to work out for them. But some parents, they can be a little bit apprehensive about the child choosing their own partner. This could be because they've lost the control over the matter, or it could be that they had plans for the child, because some parents are quite they're quite cultural in the sense that once when that child was born, they had already decided that they wanted him to marry her niece, or somebody that they got waiting, perhaps in another country, or even in this country. People have relatives in this country that you want that child to marry, but this child is now sort of like rebelled and gone and wants to marry somebody else. So it's a tough area.
Yeah. So that point is really, really interesting, and I would put some more thoughts onto it because I will say that, you are your immediate family of your child, and maybe you are immediate family to your sibling and to your parents, but eventually you need to pick and choose. You only have two hands. If one hand is your son and his immediate family, and in one hand is the other thing, and if you want to put something else, you need to drop something. So if you are dropping your child, your son or your daughter, because you want to keep the relationships with your own siblings or the people where you want to make them marry, because you have arranged or promises first, when you then you have to drop your own children. And when you drop your own children, you are basically losing one relationship. And I will say that, as you give a birth to a child, you raise them for 20-25 years, and then you, at the most important transition of their life, you push them away. You take the choice from them. Leave them vulnerable. You leave them, want them to choose this or that. That is basically really, really role breaker in your relationship. You need to choose wisely who is most important for you, because the new person is coming into your life and you need to make them feel home and give them non-judgmental or the happy space. But if you make that space unhappy because of your promises, do remember that these are your promises, but the most important part of your life is your own child. And if that
Mm.
own child is unhappy because they may get married into your choice of the person, and that is basically a, creating conflicts of the lifelong, because there is a long line of blame games because of you, because of this is happening because you choose this is happening because I'm not living my own life. And that's where we talked the last week about that, are you ready to welcome a new person into your life? Are you ready to be make the necessary compromises? As Shana said that, if it's a love marriage, in that marriage that person only see the positive side of their would be, and the practical side is different. In that practical side, when you are going into the love marriage, you does not talk about the responsibilities, you does not talk about the finances, you does not tell that, I am going to do the 9 to 5 job to provide you, so I'm not be that much available for you, because that's the other responsibilities are going to add on. After the marriage, responsibility will be add on, they are not going to subtract, because in one day you will have the children, in one day you will have the house, and there is a day-to-day expenses, and for that day-to-day expenses we all need the strong financial base. And that strong financial base is just not just drop down, it would be built by day to day, while both of you are supporting, like spouses are supporting each other, and the support of the parents as well. And where you are in either arranged marriage or the love marriage, the emotional support is needed in the both side. And there is a emotional support may be more needed into the love marriage, because the child might feel guilty that, because I bring that person of my choice, and they are um, acting in a way which is putting the stress onto them, and that stress will basically come out in a different scenarios, and it's up to parents or the children what kind of stress you are inviting in your life. Either you make it happy union and being supportive to each other, and discuss. Don't imagine both parents and the children that, my parents will be understanding me, or don't imagine that my son should know me or my daughter should know me, and they are being understanding of what we are thinking. No one in this world can go into your mind and know what you are thinking until or unless you talk about it.
Mhm. And also, one of the things that we've got to remember is that when you make a promise to someone, as a parent, you promised your brother or you promised your sister, that's your promise with them. It's not the child's promise. The child has not grown up knowing about this. The child has not made that promise. And even let's just say that the child was young and they had agreed because all the circumstances around it were, they were all for that situation at that time. It doesn't mean that they have to go through with that, because just because it was you said yes at that time. Because parents, sometimes you find that they blackmail their children. They'll say to them, oh, my brothers and sisters are never going to speak to me again. You've done my mukala. I won't be able to show anybody my face. I'm going to die alone. And, just, and then the child just sort of like gives in. Now, as a parent, okay, so it might make you happy that you brought this other person into your child's life and your life as you wanted. But later on, that other person is actually going to make your life very hard as well when they don't get the attention and the affection from your child
Mm.
that they are expecting and they have the right to in a marriage. Then you will not be the loved auntie, or the auntie that's done them a favor, or the uncle that's, supported them. You will be none of those things. You will just be a villain. So therefore, my suggestion would be to stick by your children, to go with what your children say, and help them in any aspect. If it's a love marriage, get to know the family and help your child with that. And if your child doesn't find anybody, it's he wants you to help them, then don't try and make the situation such that your child has no choice but to agree to someone that he's never agreed to in the past, or he's shown disagreement in the past to.
Yeah.
Because I have all sorts of scenarios, and I can usually tell when parents are just trying to find somebody here but not giving it the importance, because they want the child to know it wasn't possible, so we have to go to Pakistan, or we have to marry in the family, or whoever it were that they have on their agenda. So with parents, I think it's very important that your loyalties should be with your children and not with your wider family. And whether that's in a love marriage or in a arranged marriage, what works for you, what works for your children, then give it your best shot, and make ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance and pray that it works out the best for you both.
Amazing, amazing. As Shana said that, that you at the end of the day, you are there with your children. And that's, we are almost at the end of our today's episode. And as an a recount, I will say that, your siblings are living in their own houses with their own children. You are in your own house with your own children. And whatever you are going to decide, just have an open and non-judgmental conversation. Do remember that you are very important for your children, and so as for your children you are very important. So our thought is to make things easier for them, not difficult for them, and then make a support system for them, because that is what they needed. They needed a support system. So if they are finding it short, if they are finding the life difficult, because life could be difficult in any stance, we are there to guide them rather than just break that relationship in any scenario. Either it's arranged marriage, and like it's the mother's choice, child, or and then the father is upset and father's whole system is upset, and then you are leaving at the end of the rest of the life the child alone. And then similarly is the vice versa, or like if it's the father's choice or it's the children's own choice, they have life's ups and downs. Our job as an parent is to support them, guide them, and give them that non-judgmental and soft space where they feel home, where they can speak up, where they can ask advice, and where they are being not teach to break it up, but they are being supported to make the for days further with the harmony and the love. What are your last thoughts, Shanaz?
That's exactly what I was trying to explain is that with your children, that's children want the approval of their parents.
Mm,
Children don't want to go against what their parents say. They don't want to go against their parents and get married. So it's good that you can all be on the same page, that you can all work together, because no child wants to have a wedding where the parents aren't there or where the parents are not happy. So, and of course, marriage is one of those things that's a difficult decision anyway. So, if your child has decided to find their own partner, then as a parent, I think you should help and guide and advise them. And if you feel that it is really something that is not, not in your control, then you still, your loyalties are still with your child because they're going to do it anyway. So you might as well be there to support them.
yeah,
And supporting your children is, as a parent, it's a must, regardless of their decisions, whether you think they're right or wrong. And then with arranged marriages, of course, the parents are, sometimes you have both parents are happy, and sometimes you have one parent that is happy. And the parent that is not happy, that parent has to ask themselves questions as well as to why am I not happy with this? My child's happiness is everything for me.
mm,
So that's what we are looking for, is the children's happiness, because we've lived our lives, whether you had a arranged marriage, whether you've had a love marriage, you've lived your life. Now it's the children's turn. So let them be happy, make dua for them, and assist them, help them, and support them in every way that you can.
exactly. So our job as an parent is supporting in the process and after the process of the getting married, and make things easier for our children any way we can do it, and find the right sport. If it's finding a right person, then of course the Shanaz is the right person for you to be contact in the future. But if you are finding it difficult to communicate with your children, or the children are finding it difficult to communicate to the parents, where they find it there's a gap in the communication, they come to me how to find the right way of communication, and how could they be more clear about their choices and about their options in the life and in the relationship. Thank you very much. And yeah, that is today's episode. See you next week. Take care. Bye bye.